right, guys, welcome to the OPEX YouTube channel. So we're actually going to put some time, energy, and focus into YouTube moving forward. Before we introduce ourselves and we talk about who we are, just Candace, from your perspective, why did we make this decision to lean a little bit more into YouTube?
I mean, personally, I feel like I'm spending more and more time there. I know a lot of people are spending more and more time there. Short form is obviously where it's at in terms of like quick distractions, quick hits of information. But I think there's a lot of value in long form. Long form is something we do.
Yep.
Day in and day out. It just happens to be within our own platforms. Mm-hmm. And we have a ton of content that we put on YouTube, but we've just never actually taken the time to create content specifically for the viewer who is, more lean back consuming content in that way. And we have a lot to share and a lot to say and a lot of value to bring and a lot of help to put out there for aspiring coaches or established coaches looking to continue to grow in their careers. And yeah, I just think it was time. I think time has always been an issue for us because we invest so much in the education that we develop for our own platforms. We are in a place where we actually have or can create space for ourselves to do this. So I thought, why not?
Yeah, I'm excited. Well, I will say this first. I kind of got to this point at my own behest. I didn't really want to do this. I wasn't super excited to do this at first because, to your point, we're just putting so much time into, really feeding into, our internal system in terms of CCP and LearnRx and CoachRx and all of that. But I took a minute and just stepped back and thought about it. And, I came to the conclusion, and you helped me get to this conclusion, if we really wanted to push forward with our purpose and actually help coaches around the world and have let's call it a true impact, right? Like, I'm not saying that the impact that we have with our internal coaches isn't a true impact, but a wider impact. We just have to speak to more people. So I kind of sat back, thought about that, and there's always the excuse of time, and I want to focus my energy here. But if the most important thing is to increase the value of coaches around the world, so that they can build up their own communities, and we can kind of all as a collective really start to turn around this fitness industry thing. This is just such a great medium to do it. And, just based on my own behaviors, I spend a good amount of time on here, and there's a lot of really good value that I get from some, do I call them YouTubers, but from some like YouTube channels, and I just really appreciate that. So, we just want to, what do they call it? Pay it forward. So we want to pay it forward and put out some good content. So hopefully we do that. So that's the kind of overarching intention. Let's introduce ourselves. So just give us a quick 60-second intro of who you are.
Hi guys, I'm Candace. I lead marketing for us here at OPEX and CoachRx. I've been in the marketing and brand building space for about 20 years now. I've always had a strong passion for fitness. Grew up cheerleading and actually started personal training in high school through college, and thought that would be my career path all the way. Original major was exercise science kinesiology. Ended up making a pivot into business just from a financial outlook perspective. Thought that would give me more opportunities down the road, but led me down the path of marketing. Spent a lot of years in big advertising agencies. Spent about 10 of those years in Manhattan working on brands like the US Army, Intel. I could go on and on those names, but woke up one day in that career and said, gosh, I love fitness. I miss fitness. I want to continue to do what I'm doing, building brands, but I want to build brands that are about helping people and about creating healthier lives for people. So pivoted to brand side and took my first full-time role on a brand side leading marketing for bodybuilding.com. Did that for several years and then ended up here at OPEX. I've also had a lot of awesome opportunities to just help influencers in the space or personal brands in the space develop and grow. But ultimately love being here, doing what we're doing, helping create better and more coaches in the world.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Carl. I absolutely love fitness. Some would say that I have a little bit of an addiction to everything fitness, and fitness is such a big word, and there's a lot that's inside of fitness that we'll kind of dig more into. But I love fitness and I love teaching. I mentioned it before, but I realized a couple years ago that's what I am. I'm a teacher. So I'm really leaning into that. And, if I look back at, my early college years, and, that was like an early major of mine before I realized like, oh, I don't really want to do that thing. I don't want to do that teaching thing. And then, X amount of years later, won't share my age with you guys, but X amount of years later, I'm now teaching, and I'm like embracing teaching. So I love it. I'm driven by it. And it's very challenging. And you always hear that old adage, like the more that you teach, the more that you learn. And that is very, very true. So kind of going back to the top of this discussion, that's why I'm excited to do this, because I'm going to learn a lot along the way and learn how to say things a certain way, or get thoughts out of my head a certain way, hopefully more effectively. But yeah, so love fitness, love teaching, and just get fired up.
Our intent with this video is to give you guys an introduction to like what the future state of this channel will look like. We know not everyone is gonna watch this video because it's not as specifically answering a question that a coach might have, but we wanted to put it out there to set the tone. And I did kind of twist Carl's arm to come and do this with me, because he offers so much insight and so much value to the coaches within our network every single day. But I think you embracing the fact that you're a teacher is like the perfect thing for you to embrace. I don't know if that's a this year thing or if that's the last couple of years thing, but obviously in all of our education, which is primarily delivered through digital media, and we did in the past a lot of live lectures. One of the things that I have noticed more recently in the way that we've iterated the live mentorship calls is like the teaching style that you deliver in that environment is what I hope I'll be able to get you to bring to this environment, but in even more relaxed way. Yeah. Which is like, you obviously have developed a comprehensive curriculum. You come to each of those 2-hour lectures like very prepared to dig into each of those elements of the curriculum. But a lot of that is you giving the coaches on the calls exactly what they are asking for and what they're needing at that point in time. And so I hope that you can also, with me, keep a catalog of those questions, and we can bring them here and have maybe a more entry-level discussion. Yep. In this environment.
This channel is for not only the coach that has been doing it for 5 years and is looking to like scale up their business and have a bunch of success. It's for that coach as well, but it's also for the coach that's like, I have 0 clients and I just want to hear it from people that have done it before. It's also for that mid-tier coach that's like, I want to scale up from where I'm at currently. And it's also for that coach that's like, I've been doing this for a couple decades and I just want to continue to refine and iterate along the way. Do I have all of those answers? No. Does Candace have all of those answers? No. So when we talk about, who else is going to be creating content for us, we have a vast network of coaches, over 10,000 coaches around the world. And I don't know everything. Candace doesn't know anything, but I would venture to guess
everything. Thanks, Carl.
Did I say everything and anything? So I apologize. No, but if we dig into, all of those coaches around the world, it's like, I'd venture to guess that there's no situation that one of our coaches hasn't dealt with. So our network is just so big, right? So when we talk about who's going to be delivering this content, it'll be us, but it'll be other coaches around the world as well. And that's what I'm really, really excited about. And we're going to be doing it in a lot of different ways, right? Sometimes it might be, me, another coach, maybe you directly to camera and just teaching something. Yeah. Maybe it's a conversation setting like we're going through today. Or maybe it's something different. Maybe it's on the gym floor and walking through some things. So we'll get creative in terms of, not creative for the sake of being creative, but creative to help the coach. We've been a remote coaching company since late 1990s and an education company since the early 2000s. And we're still both of those things today, but in 2020 we added some things. So we got into the software world where we created CoachRx, and CoachRx is just a platform where coaches actually go in and coach their clients and run their businesses. And that's something that's really important to us, because we think that we're gonna touch a lot more coaches in terms of impact through that platform. So we're putting a lot of energy into that today. And we also spun up another learning platform, LearnerX. So it's the master class of fitness education. So we're putting a lot of time and energy into those two platforms as well as our education. So here we are today. So we're educating through CCP, we're educating through LearnerX, and we have this platform for coaches to live in and coach their clients and have great amounts of success in CoachRx. So that's where we sit today. That's who OPEX is. The main intention is to mentor coaches. Like, that's what we're really passionate about. Mentor and teach coaches. So what is the difference between teaching and mentorship? Teaching is just disseminating information. We can do that just as well as anyone. But mentorship is actually giving someone a path forward in terms of how to take that knowledge or that information and to make it work for them. It's going to be challenging, right? But how are we going to do that? We need it to be a two-way street, right? It's like the conversations that we have here, we need, the coach to participate. And we'll probably iterate and improve on what that means. But for right now, it's just like, comments, messages, emails, all of that stuff. We just want to be really engaged. And at the end of the day, it's like, we have all of these things that we're doing at OPEX. But for this channel specifically, we're not trying to sell anyone anything, right? It's just like our goal is to mentor and teach here, right? Our goal is to raise up the coaches around us. And if some of those coaches want to be a part of what we're doing, awesome. We accept them with open arms. But if they don't, for whatever reason, we just hope that they're still getting value from these conversations and the knowledge and the mentorship that we're giving through this channel. And then what are we mentoring against? The typical stuff, right? Program design, nutrition, and lifestyle. But we're also going to dig into other things. How to build really good relationships. Why is that important? How to understand your aim as a coach and to really understand the things that you believe in your value system and how that actually impacts everything that you do, not only in coaching, but in your life. But challenging coaches to really understand those things, I think, is really, really important.
The innovation on what a coaching career looks like today is endless. And so I hope that we get to spend time geeking out about that and giving prospective coaches and or those more seasoned coaches ideas on how to innovate what being a coach looks like. Because we obviously are all about longevity and playing that long game. And we want coaches to have careers for 30 plus years. And so as they are doing that, that's going to look very different today than it did 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. But in the next 5 years, it could look drastically different. So I hope that we get to talk about a lot of those things as well.
Yeah, so it's business and as well as culture, right? So fitness is downstream of culture. So we'll dig in some culture stuff as it relates to being a fitness coach in the world, right? Or as it relates to doing fitness and prioritizing your health in the world. There's so many things that I read on a weekly or maybe even sometimes daily basis where I'm just like, I just have thoughts on this and I just wish I had a platform to like give my thoughts on this because I think my thoughts might help a coach out there.
I'm just excited for us to get out and do more of that.
Me too. So yeah, that's what we're doing. That's who we are. Those are the intentions of this channel. Like we mentioned a few minutes ago, we just want people to be involved.
Just drop a comment on any video that you see. Like we'll be monitoring, we'll get that alert. If you'd like to have a more direct interaction with us, of course, you can email any of our support channels, which are public and we'll have links in the description. But DM us on any of our Instagram accounts if you have thoughts there. But the easiest place, I think, is just to drop a comment. We'll see it there. And it can also encourage other people who are watching that particular video to get involved and maybe express where they needed a point of clarification or need more information on that topic as well. So we have no shortage of questions. And I don't think most videos will be like this one. I just wanted us to get started and kind of put out there our intention with the channel moving forward. But like I said, we have no shortage of questions that we get from coaches all the time. So our intent with future videos is to very specifically answer those questions in like what is more short form, long form. So that 8 to 12 minute range. So you get a good amount of information and value and your question answered thoroughly, but you're not spending all day on one video. That's kind of the point, the plan.
Sounds good. All right. So let's move forward with that expectation. So communicate through comments and, don't only ask questions, but also give us ideas and thoughts on other things that you'd want us to hit, talk about, discuss, so on and so forth. So we'll wrap it up there.
Let's do it.
Thank you.